Good morning.
Buenos dias, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church
Universalist
Church?
Let's get it right.
Okay.
First Unitarian
Universalist Church of San Antonio.
My name is Terry Palin, and I'm the president of the Board of Trustees and have been a member of the church since 2011.
And I'm Dorothy Wallace. I am the Capital Campaign co-chair, and I've been a member of this church since 1997.
Let's begin by acknowledging this geographic place where we are currently located.
Yanaguana, the home and traditional lands of the Coahuiltecan people.
The original and indigenous stewards of the land to which we all belong, now called San Antonio, Bexar County, and Texas.
We speak these truths as one small step toward becoming the diverse, inclusive, and multicultural community of communities we aspire to be.
At our church, we strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our actions for justice and for all and for our planet.
Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all.
If you are new to us or are visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card right in front of you. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Sorry.
See if we do this again. Wherever you are
Wherever
on
you
your life
are
journey,
on your life's journey,
you are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
All right, give our president some applause. All right. On behalf of the Capital Campaign Committee, welcome to this official kickoff of the Capital Campaign. If you walk away with nothing else today, please walk away with what I call Unitarian joy, okay? Hey, let's hear some Unitarian joy, more Unitarian joy. Come on. Okay. There we go. That's what I want you to walk away with. We have a wonderful service planned today, and thanks to all who helped put it together, and particularly these fine folks sitting behind us and our musicians who are going to rock the house today, all right? And I want to thank the Capital Campaign Committee, who have been working faithfully for over 18 months now to make today happen. And there are two inserts in your order of service, and one of them has their happy little faces on there, but I would like them to all just stand up, and again, please, they're on the hook until 2025. So give them a lot of love. All right. Please do read the inserts today. Also, by way of announcement, our official Capital Campaign webpage is up and running as of today. Thank you, Mary. All right, and we have some fun activities for both adults and youth scheduled right after the service, too. We will not actually be taking capital campaign commitments today, so you can put those wallets and checkbooks away. All right, that's going to start happening next Sunday when Capital Campaign stewards will be available in the church conference room, building number 6, to talk to you and answer questions. And we've got a special banner today after church. You can look at it, but they're going to be there every Sunday until the beginning of the new year, so yay. What is a capital campaign? I'm going to give you the short version. A capital campaign has certain features distinguishing it from annual giving. First, it is in response to a matter of significant need and therefore takes place only when necessary. The last one we had built this building that we're sitting in right now. So it's been a few years since we've had a capital campaign. It invests its return in permanent priorities and improvements. It seeks much larger amounts of money than a planned budget can meet. It schedules payments over a longer period of time, allowing donors to select a giving plan that is convenient for them. It requires a planned and inspirational effort, often involving gifts of annuities, real estate, stock, trusts, life insurance, IRAs, your firstborn child, and other assets. Okay. Through it, many individuals come to realize the joy of deepening their faith and commitment to change in this world. It's that last sentence that I'd like you to dwell on today. What is your inspired effort going to be? And what is our inspired effort going to be? I fell in love with this church almost immediately, in large part because of its welcoming LGBT people. I felt at home here right away. I felt challenged here. I felt loved here, because in this church, all really does mean all. Even if the road is a little bumpy and imperfect sometimes, I am proud of this church for its effort. And what makes you proud, what makes you inspired about this church? As we enter the next 90 days of the Capital Campaign, I really don't want you to think about new air conditioners or fellowship hall extensions or new kitchens. Well, think about them a little bit. But I want you to think about what is really special to you here in your church home. Why do you stay? What makes you the proudest? Because that is really what I'm asking you to invest in as part of this Capital Campaign. We will raise money, we'll make wonderful improvements, but more important, much more important, we will continue the real work of the church, perpetuating that crazy notion that love can change not only ourselves, but the thousands that will walk through our doors in the future. All right.
This script has really got a lot going on in it. At this time in our service, we greet the holy in our midst, which is all who are around us. So please, at this time, turn to your left, your right, the forward and back, and greet those around you, especially those you have yet to meet. Make sure that they know your name. Make sure that you know their name. And let us call forth that which is beautiful.
Take this back to where I found it?
Yes.
So that somebody can use it?
Yes. And now let us lift our voices. If you are willing and able, please stand, but please let us join in creating the beauty of our shared voices in the song, hymn number 318 in your gray hymnal, We Would Be One, with music by Jean Sibelius.
Terrific. Thank you. And please be seated. It's time for the lighting of our chalice. And to do so, I'm going to introduce Tina and Oscar Solis. They joined our church in 2018 after lifelong careers in nursing. They have 3 daughters and 6 grandchildren, and they are regular participants in our Sunday services and have served our church in various capacities. Tina as on member care, racial justice, and capital campaign committees, a big portfolio for a volunteer. And Oscar on our board of trustees. He's a trustee at large, and in that role he helped me in our search, along with the Committee on Shared Ministry, for our assistant minister and our DLRE. And he currently serves as liaison on the Stewardship Committee. Oscar, would you share our chalice lighting words?
The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. May this light remind us that we have chosen this faith from a legacy of the brave, gentle, and fierce hearts and minds that came before us. Let us be worthy ancestors through our service and commitment, passing it boldly to the new generations.
All right, to the new generations represented here. Thank you.
As Unitarian Universalists, we are called to build the beloved community where all are welcome as blessings. May we strive to share grace and forgiveness with ourselves and each other in the hope of becoming whole and reconciled. Each week, we affirm this commitment to live and behave as a community in covenant. We know that the same takes work, and as a step to fulfill it, let us now recite our covenant that articulates these promises that we make to one another and that binds us together in community. The words can be found in your order of service, and they will be here on the screen, first in English, then in Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad. Y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría en libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro.
what they sang and did and pattered out on wood and on skin and on the keyboards. Thank you so much. What an uplifting song. What a message for us to take into our candles of joy and sorrow. And it is time for that. And I want to call on us all to examine our hearts and our minds. Think of those things that have been top on your list, things that you live for. Think about the things that you cry for and cry about. There are many of both. Bring it this morning into this welcoming community where we are connected, to this spiritual community where we come fully alive, to this sharing community where we are not afraid to open to one another and to hold one another in compassion. Let's listen, let's look, let's grow closer together. Please come forward as you will. Thank you, Lorelei, for getting us started here. Come forward mindfully down the side aisles. Light a votive light. Bring some light and joy to your sorrows and your compassion. And exit as you will up the center aisle. Thank you for doing this together. Let me share with you some of your contributions to our book of joys and sorrows. You know about U Bar U. It's about an hour west of here, just west of Kerrville. It's our UU-affiliated camp and conference center. Well, a member of their board, who also a member of our church, has let us know that their water well is running dry. And that may force U Bar U to shut down. If you're curious about this or can help, please see their website, ubaru.org, or visit with Paula Pebsworth from their board. There she is raising her hand after church. Dr. Allison Bess, one of our members, reports that on September 21st, just recently, 26 days after major foot and ankle surgery, she was allowed to put weight on her foot, and she is happy for increased mobility. Allison, we wish you well in your recovery. Happy birthday to come to Susan Dill, our wonderful music director. Her birthday is tomorrow. Yeah. The choir writes of their love for her and how grateful they are for her, and don't we all say yes to that? Happy birthday tomorrow, Susan. One of our members, who signs with simply a heart, says they're happy that their friend has come to enjoy church today with them. How sweet. And another one writes, I got to play with my friends, signed heart. Sarah Stephen, who grew up in this church, was recently struck by a car. She was a pedestrian. And although she is now recovering at home, she could use our good thoughts and healing intentions for Sarah. And speaking thereof, the family of Jenny Lee Dietz shares the good news that a recent MRI has shown that she is actually whole and on her way to some level of recovery, which she is demonstrating now by speaking regularly. I will be in touch with them and let you know when she is willing and ready to have visitors at her place. Thank you for keeping Jenny Lee Dietz and her family in your hearts. Hey, I want to invite you all to take a deep breath and let it go and keep breathing and exhaling, releasing any clenching that you may feel about things that you're feeling. Sit up. Feel yourself here, held by this community. You are important. You are loved. You are cared for. Breathe. Let's remember this community is the place where we can bring all our joys and sorrows and concerns, that we may feel empathy and compassion for all of these things that have been shared with us, everyone in this room, our families, people whom we know, people we don't know. May we always be a caring community, always a refuge, a space of deep kindness, loving, and just action. Thank you. And now, Reverend Nell will share a story. And afterwards, we will sing our children out. So hang on, kids.
Hang on. I'm getting it. Anybody who would like to be a little bit closer can come up and be closer and sit in these seats because there's plenty of space. And you're going to sit there? That's cool. That's cool. Okay. Look at everybody. Look at everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Okay. Yeah, you may sit there. Yes. Just do not climb all over everything and set yourselves on fire and sit on the piano. Just don't do that. Okay? All right. I want you to know there's some people. If you're going to be here, come and listen to me. Yeah, really, let's. Okay. So there are some people in Peru. Have you ever heard of Peru? Yeah. Okay. It's a country, it's a place, lots of mountains in Peru. And there are some people who live on the side of one kind of mountain, and they have friends who live on another kind of mountain. And in between, there's this raging river. But they want to go see their friends. And it's a lot of work to climb down the mountain and cross the river and climb up the mountain, go see their friends. So what do you think they do? They make a bridge. High five. Okay. You children. So what do you think, if you were going to make a bridge, what would you make a bridge out of? Bricks? Wood. Bricks, wood. What else might you have? Everything. You just use everything you got. What else? Stones? Metal? What would you build your bridge out of? What? Rocks. Gotcha. Okay. So these people, they don't have any trees around there, so we can't do wood. And bricks would be a lot of work, and you have to have the right kind of dirt to make bricks. And they don't have any metal. Weeds? Okay. Would you walk on a bridge made out of a piece of grass? No? You can't walk on this? Yes. If it's stable enough. You kids. Okay, somebody's already thinking. So, here's what these people do. They have a lot of grass around there. So everybody takes 3 pieces of grass. Not that one. You can have this one. There you go. Thank you, though. Thank you for asking. They take grass and they braid the grass together. And if you braid 3 pieces of grass together, you get something kind of like this. Okay? And then if you braid 3 strands together, you'll wind up with kind of a little, like vines, but they don't have vines there, so they have to use grass because that's what they've got. All right? And so you get enough pieces of grass together, and you wind up with something that looks more like this. Okay? What do you think happens when you get like 3 of these together? Bigger and bigger, or stronger. It's all stronger by coming together. 1 piece of grass with 1 piece of grass. Now, here's what these people do. They recognize that grass is not the most durable building material, right? Grass kind of breaks down over time. Gentleness. So they have to rebuild their bridge every year, right? Because you don't want the bridge to fail. So, I mean, it might last a year and a half, but that last 6 months is a little, So they build the bridge every year, and everybody comes together. All ages. The old women and the young men and the children and the grandparents and the moms and everybody all come together, and they cut the grass and they braid the grass, and then they weave the big bundles together until they wind up with these big, long, fat ropes that are about this thick, and they're longer than the length of the sanctuary. They're long because they got to go across a chasm. Right? And they get 4 of these big, fat, thick ones, and they take the first one across the old bridge, and they secure it on both ends, and then they use that to bring the other 3 fat ropes, and then 2 smaller ropes that are the handrails, and then they use more to weave together the sides, the walls of the bridge. And then at the very end, they take a mat, a highway? Okay. So they take wood that they've woven together with more grass, and they put down a footpath across the bridge so that you can walk without your foot going through. And everybody has some part of this. Nobody gets to stay home and play on their Game Boy. Everybody has to do something. So, and if you're not strong, you might not be able to carry that big. Oh, and you know what they do with the old one? The old bridge? They cut it on either end, and it falls down into the river, and it gets swept away. All right? You know how long they've been doing this? 500. 500 years. Every year they do this. And there's one man who's in charge. His father taught him how to do it, and his father taught him. So even though there's one person who understands how to do this, everybody has to help. Everybody starts with one piece of grass. Would you walk across that bridge?
Yes.
You would? Yes?
If it was that stable and it took that long, yes.
Yeah, it takes them 3 days, once a year. It's a big to-do. Everybody joins in, and they have a party. And they all get in the middle of the bridge and go, woo! I don't think anybody wants to jump off, because that river is far down and fast. Okay. So, do you think that if you were a piece of grass, would you make a difference? Yes, in that bridge, in that community? Okay. I want you to know that you are absolutely beautiful pieces of grass, and they tickle a little bit, and they are beautiful like you. Okay? So, this is the story. That's all there is. If it's real, yes, it's real. You can go on YouTube and look up Grass Bridge, Peru, and it's the Quechua people. And yes, you'll see them in really cool hats. They have these really cool hats. And the grass, you see the whole thing. There's video. I promise, it's real. YouTube it. All right. All right, my darlings, my dearest, I want you to know you're beautiful. I love you so much, and I want you to have a lovely, fun time today. There will be bubbles. Yes. Okay. What? Today we're celebrating stalks of grass going in to make something big and beautiful right here on our campus. Okay? All right, let's sing our children to their classes, to their fun. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the summer of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you
may go. Veance en paz, veance en paz, que el Espíritu de amor los rodee en todas partes, donde quieran ir. It's time for our invitation to generosity. Our church has a larger purpose to support us all in becoming more generous in the giving of our time, talent, and treasure, all in a context of trust. For those of you viewing online, we invite you to make a contribution on our website or on the link on the chat stream. And those of us here in the sanctuary, we may contribute in the baskets that are being brought forward now by our ushers. Let's enjoy our offertory anthem. Thank you for bringing it.
This song expresses the dreams of achieving important goals. It was written with the Olympics in mind. However, it's relevant to anyone who experiences the thrill of working towards and achieving a successful major accomplishment. Each day I live, I want to be a day to give the best of me. I'm only one, but not alone. My finest day is yet unknown. I'll break my heart for every gain. To taste the sweet, I'll face the pain. I'll rise and fall, yet through it all, this much remains. I want one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be, when all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny, and in that one moment in time, I will feel eternity. I live to be my very best. I'd like it all, no time for less. I'll lay the plans, now lay the chance here in my hands. Give me one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be, when all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny, and in that one moment in time, I will feel eternity. You're a winner for a lifetime when you seize that one moment in time. Make it shine. Give me one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be, when all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny, and in that one moment in time, I will be free. I will be free. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have artists in residence. We bless these offerings we have received May we live the true spirit of that one moment of time as we too find the generosity and the kindness to be our true selves. The answers are up to us, and may our blessings be multiplied through our sharing of them. May it be so. Thank you, ushers. At this time, it's my delight to present Karen Davis, a longtime member of this church, a member of our choir, and so many other things. Karen is going to share a testimony.
Good morning. My name is Karen Davis, and I've been a member here since 2007. I'm a member of the choir, the membership committee, and the committee on shared ministry. And I wanted to talk to you briefly this morning about why I decided to participate in the Capital Campaign. Actually, when I heard some months ago that we were going to have a Capital Campaign, I was in right away. I was on board. It's like, yes. And there are 4 basic reasons why I feel this way. The first one is need. This building is a little newer, but all the rest of our buildings were built in the 1960s. They're old. It would be impossible for me not to see so many of the structural problems and the needs that we have in those buildings. I don't need to enumerate them to you. I'm sure you've seen them also. The second reason is gratitude. After years and years of cycling through a variety of churches that didn't work for me, I finally found one that fit. And I'm grateful to this church because as our theme this month is belonging, I feel like I belong here, and it's important to me, and I want to give back. The next one is financial. This is a 3-year capital campaign, which means all of us are able to spread our donations out over the 3 years in a variety of ways, which makes it easier for me to give a nice amount, easier than it would be if I had to give it all at once. So that's important to me. And the fourth one is the future. Yes, those of us who are here now will see some benefits of the things that get done, but I'm also thinking of the future generations that will come here. And we want this church to remain a viable place for people to come for years and years. So I'm giving where my heart is, and I hope that you will join me in supporting a brighter future for First UU San Antonio. Thank you.
I'd like to invite my beloved Carolyn to come forward. We showed up here a couple of years ago, and we have been loving our time here. And Carolyn quickly became a member after you invited me to be your minister. So, Carolyn, what do you have to share with us?
Good morning. I have a reading for us today. It's called For a New Home by John O'Donohue. May this place shelter your life when you come here. May all the weight of the world fall from your shoulders. May your heart be tranquil here, blessed by the peace that the world cannot give. May this home be a lucky place where the graces your life desires always find a pathway to this door. May nothing destructive ever cross your threshold. May this be a safe place full of understanding and acceptance, where you can be as you are without the need of any mask or pretense or image. May this home be a place of discovery, where the possibilities that sleep in the clay of your soul can emerge to deepen and refine your vision for all that is yet to come to birth. May it be a house of courage, where healing and growth are loved, where dignity and forgiveness prevail, a home where patience of spirit is prized, and the sight of the destination is never lost, though the journey may be difficult and slow. May there be great delight around the hearth. May it be a house of welcome for the broken and the diminished. And finally, may we all have the eyes to see that no visitor arrives without a gift, and none of us leaves without a blessing.
Thank you for that blessing, Carolyn. Well, can you believe it? We're at the end of the month of September. During this month, we've examined the theme of belonging. It's involved a time of exploration in which we sought to deepen our relationships, look for new ways to meet the needs of our broader community, and ask what it is we need for spiritual nourishment beyond the bounds of what we often think of as church. We welcomed Bridget Laughlin, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, as she gathered together her staff and volunteers to serve all ages of our congregation with religious education, child care, and important ministries. And we invite you to share with us specific things you are looking forward to. We wish to explore new ways to live out the idea of belonging in the context of all meaning all, so that our love doesn't leave anyone out. Important questions we continually ask here are, what are we doing? And how is it changing us? I know we are lifelong learners with a purpose greater than ourselves, and that purpose is our mission. And for many years, our mission statement has been to invite all into caring community, to inspire spiritual growth, and to involve everyone in working for a peaceful, just, and free world. And as Dorothy reminded us a few minutes ago in her opening words, what is special to you here in your church home? Why do you stay? What makes you the proudest? Well, Dorothy and everyone, as our minister, I think of how, as Unitarian Universalists, we are part of a long tradition of spiritual freedom, theological inclusiveness, and radical acceptance. Welcoming and appreciating the many diversities that make up our human community is part of what I strive for, and I hope to inspire authentic relationships and meaningful personal and spiritual growth in all of us. The core values of our Unitarian Universalist tradition are designed to support us and inspire us on this kind of journey. So what is our request today? From the day I came to you, I accepted ownership and the responsibility for the leadership of our church and its influence in our community. And I request that all of you here join me in that. What part of our capital campaign will you own and be responsible for? We need to generate some new energy and hope that we believe this campaign can do, and it will sustain us in all of our involvements that are personal and meaningful. And nothing is on my mind more right now than the personal and meaningful capital campaign commitment. Let me tell you a little bit about Carolyn's and mine. We made a commitment that is 3 times our annual stewardship pledge. And we're proud to be able to express our leadership in this way. Now, you may be able to do better. And others have committed to 3, 4, and even 5 times their annual pledge as a commitment. And we will all continue to deliver this important pledge that our annual operating budget elicits through our stewardship campaign. That's a priority. But the Capital Campaign is a very important once-in-a-generation opportunity. Because of its significance, Carolyn and I chose to be early adopters, which means we have already given 2/3 of our 3-year commitment this year, so that there's funding in place to hire an architect and make some initial improvements now. We need them. One thing we've been thinking about is some kind of a handrail up here on our chancel to help us with accessibility and safety. We're looking for that handrail. So this is how our inspired effort will look. What will yours look like? Despite pandemic-related increases in construction costs and timelines, we remain confident that our current plans will allow us to provide for the safety and security of our congregation and all who come to our campus, update existing infrastructures like AC units and internet services, make our campus more welcoming and beautiful, and of course, more and better support for our mission and ministries. We are building today for the next 50 years so that we and our children and all those who will carry this church forward will have a home that supports our mission. Join with us now in this once-in-a-generation opportunity to ensure the continuing growth of our church and its mission. Every gift will be deeply valued. So for now, our Capital Campaign leadership is creating this kind of inspired effort, one that will be entirely inclusive and result in a successful campaign. We just need you. Won't you join with us? We can't do this without each one of us. And I'd like to ask Capital Campaign Committee member Troy Peters to come forward and put a punctuation mark on this before we sing and send ourselves off here.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everybody. I've told this story to some of you before, but my family and I first came into this room on Easter Sunday in 2010. So 12 and a half years ago, we walked into this room on Easter Sunday. We'd moved here from Vermont about 6 months before that, and I had always been inspired by the Unitarian Universalist community in Burlington, Vermont, where we lived. But I have a job on Sundays. That's been true in my life for 25 years, that I go to work on Sundays. And so frequently I scoot out of here real fast, and in Vermont, it never happened. We came here with young children. Our son Max was 2 years old, and our daughter Ronnie was just a few weeks away from her 6th birthday. And she'll be heading to New York next month to start college. So it's been a little bit of a journey. We walked into this space, and I remember looking at this incredibly inspirational structure above me here. I learned later that this was designed by Dan Wagodsky, who I would have the great good fortune to work with later in initial designs for another project. I was just struck dumb on that first day by how beautiful this space was. I remember being blown away by the choir and the energy of the service that we attended. We loved the sermon. We loved the way that worship worked here. We wrestled with, what does that word worship even mean in this context? And we were thinking about that from the very beginning, and I've had that conversation with people over the last 12 years. What does it mean to worship as a Unitarian Universalist? Well, it means to be part of this community, this family, and this community embraced us that very first day. There are people in this room who greeted us that day, who have been part of our lives for the last 12 years. And like many of you, a little bit less so over the last 2.5 years, right? In the last 2.5 years, I've spent a lot less time in this room, but I've still been very involved in the church in other ways throughout that last decade. Our kids grew up here in that interval, and who they are becoming was directly and powerfully shaped by this community, by the values of this church. I've heard that story from so many of you, that you're here because of what this place did for your kids or what it's doing for your kids today. It's a powerful and important community. In my professional life, I'm an orchestra conductor, and in my professional life, I've seen the way that buildings can transform an organization's mission. I worked with an orchestra in Vermont where we built our own building, and it completely changed our community impact. It completely changed everything we did, and it increased our membership by 200% in the space of 4 years. It unleashed an incredibly dynamic period of growth. Here in San Antonio, I've had the great good fortune to see the way that the Tobin Center has had an impact on the performing arts. And some of you know, the performing arts has had a bumpy road here in recent years, but for many of our organizations, the Tobin Center has been this incredibly powerful, positive, transformational thing. I mention all of that because a building's not just about a building. A series of buildings is not just about this series of buildings. Those things my family felt when we walked in here the first day will all be transformed by us taking care of this space. So yes, the space is inspiring, but the air conditioning doesn't work as well as it did. That will not just, fixing that, transforming this space will not just change the way the space feels. It will nurture and support this sense of community, this sense of love we have for each other. It'll transform worship, both in the service and the way that we spend our time together on campus before and after services. And it will transform and amplify our ability to carry out our social mission in this community. We always strive to be a beacon, and the beacon's a little dusty. We need to do a little polishing. We need to do a little refurbishment. And so I'm excited. Our future demands that we rise to this occasion. We've been running a quiet campaign on the Capital Campaign Committee, and I'm happy to tell you today that we have already received $700,000 in pledges. It's a huge thank you to, there are people in this room who've already made those pledges, and we're incredibly grateful to those people. As you go outside after the service, if you take a look at the boards out there, you'll see a variety of pictures of that vision, and you'll also see some numbers about what this journey will cost. And you'll find we are still climbing a mountain. We still have a ways to go. But we have a very firm foundation on the beginning of that journey, thanks to the pledges we've already received. I'd love to invite all of us over the next 90 days to really think about promises. What kind of promise can we fulfill to this community? What kind of promises can we make? What kind of promises can we keep over the next 3 years to help this community move forward? Because it's a big moment in our lives. We're not going to ask any of you to make those promises today. Dorothy's not going to let you make those promises today. We're going to invite you to think about that and talk with each other, talk with your families, and talk with us. And over the next 90 days, every Sunday, we will be here and inviting people to make promises. And as we will sing in just a moment, one day we'll be able to look at each other and say, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. This is about saying yes to our future. We know how many of you have been transformed by this place and its people. Let's all do what we can to give that gift to more and more people in the future of this church. If you will rise in body or spirit and sing together hymn 1028, I bet you'll be as inspired as I am.
Hearts and spirits into faith and finds fulfillment, and our future can begin. The stories of our living bring the song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of our commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. The dreams of youthful vision comes a new and prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of our commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. Join us at the ice cream and popcorn social, where there's something tasty for all of us today. See you there. Thank you for being here.